Okay. There's not much I can say. I don't know if you can hear me clearly or not. If it is, great. What can I say? This is not. It's welcome to my channel, by the way, for those who've never been. Uh, if you are a subscriber, thank you. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. If you like my channel, like my content, like my videos. Um, Today, I'm just going to talk about the fact that you might not, I don't know if you can see me because I come outside. I see that it was made available now on the phone that you can make go live, which is great. So one of the things I'm going to rant about is, of course, the Mets. It's just a general rant. The Mets, you know, it is expected to be expected. The fact that they did win 2 out of 3 against the Cubs, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I can't say this though. I don't expect anything from 2024 unless they do something really, really impressive. The Mets, as if signing Ohtani and this Yamamoto, I mean, sorry, the 2 pitchers. Ohtani, if they can sign him, that would be a great lockup pickup. Honestly, if Cohen can sign both Ohtani and Yamamoto, and then the following year sign Soto, that would be an impressive feat altogether, quite honestly. But we'll see what happens, honestly, because I think that was a ploy. Again, as I said in my prior videos, it was a ploy to get rid of Scherzer and Verlander. I think they're going to learn not to sign future Hall of Famers, or rather, guaranteed Hall of Famers when they're in their prime, basically. So yeah, I can say this though. I don't know if you can hear, but I think Cohen has a plan to sign Ohtani. I think he's looking to sign Yamamoto. And then I think next year he's going to sign Soto as well, too. Between Soto and the polar bear, I signed Soto, quite honestly. Soto is the one you want to sign. I don't think anything else I want to do with that. Sorry, I shouldn't be smoking, but it's a cigar. Pretty good cigar, actually. Dominican. It's actually, I don't know where this is from, actually. But in any case, there's that, and then there's also the aspect of started getting into Murder in the Building, watching season 3, and yeah, I'm just a little surprised about that. How they have what's his name? Meryl Streep, actually. That's a surprise. I know Paul Rudd was going to be there, but I did not know Meryl Streep was going to be in the show. That's a big coup for them. I mean, you have Steve Martin and Martin Short on there, and now you have Paul Rudd and of course Selena Gomez. Those 3 are stars alone themselves. But the fact that you have now Meryl Streep, I've never known Meryl Streep to do shows, quite honestly. That's a little bit of a surprise. I'm already in episode 2. So far, it's okay. I'm hoping it's gonna pick up in with it. Again, I apologize if you can't hear me. I don't have a mic. I don't have Pixel buds on me or anything like that. I am on Pixel. But with that, it's not a case where I should know what to do or what to say. But yeah. I'm about to be stopped, I think, or something like that. But in any case, yeah. Okay. With it, I'll leave it like that, basically. But yeah. Yeah. This is it's an interesting time. I'm in California right now. It's fairly hot. Southern California, that is. And it is fairly hot. quite honestly. A little surprised. It's not that hot, but still hot enough to sweat when you're out in the sun. But shade definitely helps out. Um, I'm going to be saying a lot, but basically, I mean, this is my view right now. There's like a bouncy house over there. And this other thing is planning to essentially create a, I don't know, like a pumpkin patch or something like that. I think they're prepping for October for some reason, or September for that. But yeah. But with it, I know I should do a live. I said I would do a live once a week. I've already done one early on Monday, but I figured let me do one today since I'm out walking. Walking is good, by the way. Smoking is not, of course, but walking does help you out. What else can I rant about, actually? Because there are a few things I wanted to rant about, but I kind of lost track now, honestly, because like this walk cleared my head, and so like anything I'm pissed off at, I'm not pissed off at anymore. The fires in Maui, not a great thing, unfortunately. It's kind of ironic. I was thinking about going to Hawaii early August, but now it turns out it was the right decision not to go. Got caught up with work and all that stuff, so that was a good thing. Kind of sucks for the people in Maui. Hopefully everything's gonna be good, better for them. Hopefully the fires die out very quickly. That or it rains. Hopefully there soon to dissipate the fires at least. I gotta say it's an interesting day today. And oh yeah, there is one thing that's kind of surprising, which is catching me off guard. I'm reading all these articles about people working 3 or 4 jobs, side hustles. I mean, I don't know how they do it. I can never do it. Focusing on one job is hard enough, but working on 2, I don't know. Like in this case, I was just reading an article today, right now, about people from Bain and McKinsey, where there are consultants that are on the bench or on the beach, depending on how you want to look at it, and they're just like catching up on time, whatever it is. They're being paid an exorbitant amount of money, but these are like young college grads, and they're like on the beach, and I don't think it's something they want to do. But at the same time, rest does help out in long term. But the thing is, if they haven't been on a project for quite some time, then it's kind of sucky for them, because if you want to increase your career trajectory, it's not a thing that helps out. And the thing is, with being at McKinsey and being at BCG, it's a really good thing for you, because like usually from there you can parlay that into a much better job at one of the big corporations at that point. Someone says like, oh, well, if they're doing that, they could just do another job at the same time. Like there was this Facebook recruiter basically where she was hired to and she was making $190,000 just sitting there in the office. I'm like, if that was the case, you could have just done something else at the same time, like working on another job at the same time and gaining another strain of revenue. I wish that was the case for me, but it's not. I am working too much time. Not too much time, but too much work piles on. So that's not something I don't wish on anyone, but at the same time, vacation time is very good. Remember, mental health is very helpful for people. It's very beneficial. You got to watch out for your mental health. So like sometimes you don't want to burn yourself out. I have burned myself out quite a number of times to the point like I'm not thinking, never like properly thinking. Now like I guess there's some time in my, not downtime, but like some time in my mind to think about things. And I'm like, oh wait, you know what? Some technologies I should, could look into, like Streamlit. It's a very interesting platform, or very interesting library. Same thing with all this generative AI stuff. Incorporating that into my company. That's another nice thing to do it as well too. But I don't know. It's so weird just being around here. I mean, today it's a time where like I could actually walk today basically, because I work East Coast hours time right now, and like I can actually get some time right now to like do some walks. I wasn't able to do it in the past, but now I am able to. Went to the beach. That's another thing as well too. That's my gripe with beach goers basically. Ah, not a huge beach-going fan. Finally. Also, mind you, remember, when you're putting out cigars and cigarettes, you want to do it to the point where like there's no absolute, there's no fire left. So making sure that goes away too. But you know, with that, I'll leave it at that. But anyways, what else should I rant about? Actually, I don't know what I should rant about. Trump, I don't really care too much about it. If he becomes president again, I don't know. But there is one thing I could say this. Having a Republican president sometimes is good for science. And here's why. Some people are like, wait, no, it's a bad thing. No, here's the thing. Republicans are always reactionary versus proactive. They're always reactionary to the point where, like, if they know they're falling behind on something in technology, or technology advancements, they'll put a heavy amount of money into it. So put it this way, like AI. The US is like far behind in it. Biden is moving forward with it and putting some money into it, specifically in the AI chip sector, because we saw what happened with the chips shortage when the COVID happened. The US was like far behind in that. They were dependent on another company, and chip manufacturing has been lost to these overseas companies. And so coming back to the US is great, but it's also creating a sort of, I want to say, innovative AI chips or innovative chips as well too, something that you want so they can create. And the one thing that's really interesting is, like, Nvidia has made the right move by going all in on AI with their chips, and they're doing really, really well to the point where, like, now they're a $1 trillion company. And don't see them going down any further. I don't see them going down because of GPUs, unless there's a massive change in chips, chip technology, specifically chip architecture. It will be a big thing, honestly. And of course, they're the ones that want to innovate. And like, look where Intel is. I mean, honestly, Intel used to be the de facto. Now they have to like scramble to create GPUs, like the where AMD and NVIDIA specifically are at. Moderna, I don't want to say they were one-hit wonder because of the COVID vaccination or COVID vaccine, but they have the technology to look at other potential diseases. mRNA is the way to go. Whatever people say it's wrong, it's not. It's the right way to go about it. It's also to the point of like doing it in dry labs. Now, dry labs is an interesting concept where why it is because you get to reduce the amount of time and effort that's needed to identify the disease and like what's the strain or protein sequence that's causing the disease, and you could focus on that and you could tell, okay, this is it. Whereas before in the past you had to like wait 20 years to find it out and then come out, or at least 5 years, and then eventually find a vaccination for it. Nowadays you dramatically drop that time frame from 6 to 10 years to 20 years for that matter, down to like 2 years. Identifying the strains or protein sequences, or the protein sequences that create the errors that generate, create all these diseases. You're isolating them, finding them, and now you can focus on them. And now you're just coming up with vaccines or whatever it may be against it, basically. Another thing I got to rant about is, electric EV cars. People don't seem to understand. They don't understand one thing, and this is the big thing, basically, with EVs. It's great for the environment, but the problem is, where does all this electricity come from? It's not coming from like cheap renewable energy. It's coming from coal and all that stuff. No one seems to understand that. It's one of those things where people have to realize, and I brought this up like way back when. Coal and everything else is one that's our main drivers for this electrical stuff. And the other factor is the electrical grids. All these electrical grids are not built for this. It's like, think about this way, when summertime comes and you have all these air conditioners up and running, these electrical companies and electrical grid are saying, like, hey, hold on, please don't push up or turn on your ACs, or like, try not to use your AC as much. Why? Because it puts a strain. So now think about all these cars that are being charged at the same time. Does solar help out? Yes, but how long? We don't know, because solar, as great as it is, it doesn't charge cars up very quickly. You have to charge up the battery and then use the battery then to charge up your vehicle. So let's not jump all in. I mean, I'm not against electricity or EV cars. I'm just saying that you can't look at one without the other factor, basically. And like the fact is like no one wants to talk about hydroelectric wind power or hydroelectric wind power or geothermal energy, which are all naturally, as well as solar, all are natural, but no one wants to go those routes because they're kind of expensive. There's no cheap way going about it, unfortunately. That's one thing people have to realize. It's not that easy to do. Yeah, I think that's a big thing people have to realize that, like, and the other thing is people are moving their Teslas or selling their Teslas or not buying Teslas because of Elon Musk. Yeah, he's got an ego. At the same time, let's not forget, if not for him and working the system, let's not forget, he worked the system to make sure Tesla is where they're at right now. And that's the thing. It's not the case of like him putting money himself. During the year of 2008 and 2009, during the financial crisis, Tesla could have gone bankrupt. Remember that. They were going to go bankrupt. If not for the government bailing them out. They were being bailed out where they give them a loan, which makes sense, to build a gigafactory. If not for that gigafactory, it'd be a problem. But the question is now those gigafactories are being created, how much electricity are they expending? How much of a carbon footprint are they, increasing? That's another big factor that no one seems to understand is like, with these gigafactories, they do create a large footprint unless these gigafactories are energy efficient. That's the real question. So no one realizes when these gigafactories are being created, how much of a footprint are they reducing? Or how energy efficient are they? I mean, look, we got a Rivian right here. Great as it is, it's one of those things where it still has to be charged. And how do you charge it? You plug it in. Where's the electricity coming from? From these electrical plants, electrical grid. And where's the electrical grid getting these electricity from? Coal or whatever it may be. I don't know. It's something that we got to think about, consider. We're trying to reduce, global warming by, reducing the amount of carbon emissions out there. But let's not forget, planes themselves are the biggest things as well. It's not just cars, it's factories, and also not only factories, but cars. Not only factories, but also airplanes. They're up in the atmosphere, expending all that jet fuel. No one's ever thought of, like, hey, creating an energy efficient airplane or 747 or whatever jets. Basically creating an energy efficient jet. We've never seen those. I don't think we're going to see them for quite a while. You can't have an electrical based jet because it needs jet fuel. Similar with these rockets. As great as SpaceX is, the fact that it's using reusable rockets or reusable parts, it's still doing one thing that no one realizes. It's still using jet fuel, rocket fuel, which also expends and creates carbon emissions. Someone's got to realize that too. I mean, it's not as much. If you do the math, eventually it shouldn't be as much, but at the same time, they're not as energy efficient as people think they are. That. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your comments. As I said, I do read my comments in the comment section. I do respond to them when they warrant a response, and of course when I get notified. I am walking. I think this is the first time I'm actually live streaming from my phone, so it's great. But yeah, I think I'll create a video about EVs and energy efficient vehicles, not only energy efficient vehicles, energy efficient plants and all that stuff as well too, in factories, because everyone wants to go zero carbon emission eventually, but in 10 years, 20 years, that's a little too late right now. We've seen what's going on right now. Nothing's energy efficient nowadays. Cars are, but not as much when they get to, when you're building them. But with that, I'll leave it at that. Live streaming for the first time from my phone, unfiltered, unedited, and of course, unrehearsed. Until next time.